Transitions right into them.
You're talking about the Phoenix Suns. They have better fours than the Jazz defensively, albeit.
Yeah.
Because I think Bogdanovich is better than Jay Crowder.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think way better than Jay Crowder. Phoenix Suns 51-21, one game behind the Jazz and getting that first seed. They lost in 6 to the Bucks in the championship, up 2-0, lost 4 straight. They said, let's run it back. They said, you know what? We're not going to get rid of CP3. I recommended on the podcast that maybe they could get Lonzo Ball and, start this thing back and have them be their point guard of the future. But they don't want to do that. And I think it's smart because the championship window is now. They have a championship roster. They brought back CP. They noticed in the finals that Giannis was killing us. We didn't have a big. They went out and they got JaVale McGee. They got a playoff point guard who helped the team that was in a drought for a while make the playoffs in Elfrid Payton. And then they also got Landry Shamit from the Nets, who I think is a great addition. Landry Shamit was with Monty Williams in Philly, so they are familiar with one another. They lost Javon Carter, Torrey Craig, and this is a team similar to last year, have a lot of depth, but now they just added more. And I think they added more in 2 key positions, the backup shooting guard role and the backup center role. Is Phoenix going to maybe make it back to the finals? Are we sleeping on them? Because people were saying they had a fluke playoff run. Is that the case, or are we going to see them prove themselves this year again?
Big anti-Suns fan over here.
It's tough. Well, first let me get on the additions. JaVale McGee, I think he provides what Ayton can provide. It's small spurts, nothing crazy. But I think when you plug out A and you plug in McGee, you'll be okay for a couple minutes. So I think that was a good guy. Landry Shamit, he has that.
He can shoot.
He can shoot the ball.
Really shoot.
Inconsistent, but he can shoot the ball. So I think that keeps him at bay. You get him to pair it up with Cameron Payne off the bench. That's good. They brought it back. They brought everybody back. Chris Paul, Cam Johnson's still going to get better. Mikal Bridges is still going to get better. Booker's there. He's going to get better. Aiden's going to get better. Aiden in that contract situation, I hope they figure that out. But they brought everybody back. They feel like they can run it back. And this is a team that you saw give Milwaukee fits. They lost 4 straight.
Yeah.
But they gave them fits. This is a team who gutted out, granted Kawhi didn't play, but still gutted out a Western Conference win against those Clippers team who people were high on. There was a next man up mentality, and the Phoenix grinded and gutted out those wins. This is a team that, went up against LeBron, LA, and granted AD didn't play, but they gutted out that win, and then they just whipped Denver ass. So I ain't even going to bring them up. But this is a team that still is bringing everybody back. Chris Paul is a year older, but Devin Booker is a year wiser. And the same thing with A and the same thing with Bridges. So I think that experience, that playoff run gives them that experience and only gets them better. I think this team is a Mikal Bridges jump away from being a serious championship contender. I think if he can develop a outside game, if he can develop a one-on-one game and become a real scorer off that wing, I think that's huge because he's already a 3-and-D guy who can defend at a high level and can shoot the 3 ball. If he can develop a one-on-one game to take some pressure off Booker, I think that's great. Cam Johnson, if he can continue to get better and take that Jay Crowder role, I think that'll be great. Ceiling, I think the ceiling is a number 1 seed in the regular season. I think they can make that number 1 seed or 2. Like a same ceiling, same floor for Utah, for me, for them. I think they'll be as low as a 3rd seed. These are my 2 top teams in the 3 seed in the West. I think in the playoffs, I think they can make a Western Conference Finals. I think they definitely have the tools to make it. But really, it's hard to analyze this team because in the playoffs, they played so many teams without their best guy or their second best guy.
Fact.
So it's hard to analyze how they match up. But I think just one-on-one, I think they match up well with LA. Both LA teams. I think they match up well with Utah, and I think they match up well with Golden State. I think this is a team that has shown the ability to match up with other teams. It's just this is the prove year. I feel like last year was the kind of, okay, we made our run, but people still think it was a fluke. Now this year is a prove year. But I think they made all the necessary tools to maintain that seat up at the top of the West. I think they made the moves in the offseason. They brought everybody back, and I think they're going to continue to get better.
The Suns last year were easily the most improved team. I would say they were more improved than the Knicks. So no disrespect. Obviously, they were the number 2 seed in the West. Excuse me. Low key though. But I would say in that order that we probably listed, probably the Suns, Knicks, and then the Hawks.
The Nets.
Nah, but that was expected. Like the Suns,
I don't understand that
the
in it.
Suns launching from what? I mean, they went 8-0 in the bubble, but then launched themselves to the number 2 seed, obviously with the addition of CP3. But a guy like CP3 can impact your franchise like that was incredible. And now we're gonna watch them, and it's gonna be now the longevity of Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. This is the future of Phoenix basketball. Now, I look at this roster and I see a Utah similar to Utah's team, except they play defense and they still have the ability to have efficient scorers. Sure, probably Donovan Mitchell is a slightly better scorer than Devin Booker is, but obviously Devin Booker isn't a slouch. And DeAndre Ayton isn't the defender that Rudy Gobert is, but offensively, he is significantly better offensively than what Rudy Gobert can give you. Yeah. And then you look at the forwards that they have. Mikal Bridges is tremendous defensively. Cam Johnson's a solid defender, but mostly he has a very good shot on him that if they would have fed him a little bit more in the finals, who knows what would have happened. He was one of their hottest shooters in the finals, and they really didn't feed him that much. Jay Crowder, just a great locker room guy to have, played extremely well in the playoffs too. His jump shot was falling too, and he's just that type of guy that can hit a shot if he's wide open. And he's another one, a solid defender. I just look at this entire group of guys, and I see their ceiling being a number 1 seed in the West, like you mentioned. They have the personnel. They did it last season. They just came up short of that number 1 spot, and now they have another year together. And the playoff experience that they gain is only going to carry over into the regular season. Monty Williams is an excellent coach. I think that Budenholzer did outcoach him in the finals, but that was more so Budenholzer having just one of those performances where he actually showed, I'm not a bad coach. I'm getting disrespected too much. And Monty just had to be on the other side of that. Monty had a great series. Just Milwaukee played better. So I'm expecting Monty, again, to take this experience, carry it over into this season. Again, I do see them being a number 1 seed. Their floor for me is similar to Utah. I don't see them being lower than a 3 seed. This team is too complete for me. You mentioned the addition of JaVale McGee. You sit down DeAndre Ayton. JaVale McGee is significantly better than Frank Kaminsky coming in. Obviously, Saric got banged up last year during the playoffs, and that was a big loss for them too. You bring in JaVale McGee, who has the playoff experience, has the ability to play defense, and at least can manage a pick and roll situation, kind of playing some kind of perimeter defense. Obviously, you don't need him to do that often, but he is capable of doing so. This team is very solid, and I do expect it to have a great season again.
The Suns championship window is open right now, and they have a lot of people to prove wrong. You, in particular, River Brown Jr. The reason
You were harsh on them.
No, they proved me wrong.
all
and I am the senior.
the entire senior. All I've heard from you is that the Suns, they didn't play these teams, all this, all that. They played teams that were banged up. But you never mentioned that D-Book played with a broken nose.
Because he played.
You never mentioned that CP3 had COVID.
That's fair.
You never mentioned that CP3 had a hurt shoulder.
That's fair.
You didn't mention any of that.
Stop bringing up the broken nose part, though.
There were points where CP3 couldn't even dribble. You can tell things were off about him. They added a lot of depth. JaVale McGee versus the Suns, played better defense than Jokic when he played and was slotted in. He handled drop coverage very well.
For sure.
His length definitely made an impact on a CP3 at times. It was just better. Defensively, of course, because we know Jokic is a monster offensively. The Suns, to me, can make the finals once again, and I think they can win the championship. I think they can win the championship. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna sit there and laugh and stuff, but they
have
can win the
roster to
championship.
win.
I don't think.
There were 2 games away from it, and this is the only thing that's gonna hold them back from winning. If it's one thing that's gonna hold Phoenix back from winning a championship, it's Chris Paul's health. It's that as the season progresses in the playoffs, hurt shoulder, now hurt wrist, gets COVID. It's just Chris Paul is one of the more unfortunate players when it comes to getting hurt in the playoffs. And if you can guarantee me that CP3 is going to stay healthy and be CP3 the entire playoffs and not have a nagging injury, I feel confident in their chances of winning a championship. But because you can't, because I know Chris Paul's history, because he is older, and I don't think that vegan diet is entirely helping him so much that he's not going to get hurt, I just have a tough time. And you mentioned Mikal and the leap that he can take. I don't think it's about Mikal. I think it's about Ayton. I think it's about Ayton taking that leap to live up to that number 1 overall pick. Mikal, I saw him in the preseason. He looks to be the same guy. And that's good because these guys know their role. They know where they stand. They know what they have to do. Everybody has bought in, and that's the great thing about Phoenix. But Ayton has to be that guy for Phoenix to take that next step. He wants a gigantic contract. Now's his chance to prove it.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Chris Paul, when he went out, they did win a game, though, right?
I know.
I just wanted to make that.
Campaign was amazing.
Yeah, I just
But
wanted
then Campaign also disappeared after that game.
I just wanted to let you know, like, just real quick, like, Chris Paul, they won a game without him. Just in the Western Conference Finals.
I mean,
yeah, JC.
Top to bottom, I like this team. I don't think they're going to win a championship. I don't think they're going to beat the Lakers. Personally, I think the Lakers are just too, top heavy. They have LeBron. Hopefully they have a healthy AD. But just to piggyback off what...
Don't forget Westbrook, bro.
Westbrook, too. Don't
forget him.
I like
It's more of a
Westbrook.
liability.
I like Westbrook.
Says you.
Just to piggyback off what all you guys said, I mean, this relatively the same team as last year. You got Chris Paul, you got Devin Booker, I love their wing defenders like Jay Crowder's a solid. Crowder, Cam Johnson's good. They're all good shooters. My only problem with this team is I feel like they don't have that good of a bench, in my opinion. Like, I feel like in the playoffs, you need that bench scoring. You need that extra punch off the bench, and I just don't really think that they have that.
So currently, their bench is Campaign, Shamit, Cam Johnson, McGee. You're not confident in this bench group.
I like how we were previewing Utah. I like Utah's bench way better, but granted, Utah probably has a top 5 bench in the league. So I think that's very important. But, I mean, top to bottom, my ceiling for this team is obviously they could be the number 1 seed. The bare minimum, their floor is the 3rd seed. But, just like what you said, Chris Paul's health is a major factor. Like you said, the time is now. Chris Paul's how old? He's going to be turning 37. How many years did they sign him to a contract? Like a 2?
4. I thought it was 3 or 4.
I thought it was 3-4. It's about there. So.
Well,
until he probably retires.
Well, I think last year was their best chance. I don't think this year's their best chance. I think everybody coming back healthy. I don't think it's going to be that easy for them getting to the to get to the finals. Granted, Chris Paul had a shoulder and Devin Booker broke his nose, but there was players that were out for series. Like Kawhi Leonard was out, Jamal Murray, even though he was out in the middle of the season, he wasn't present for Denver. LeBron, Anthony Davis. I just think that they had I don't want to say lucky, but they were very fortunate on their route to the finals. But other than that, the only team I feel that's standing in their way, well, 2 teams. Well, number 1, I don't think they're going to beat LA. That's just my opinion. And number 2, I think a series between Utah and Phoenix, I think that could go either way.
That would be good.
I think it would go 7.
Series.
I would slightly favor maybe Utah just because they have a better bench. But, other than that, I like the additions to the team. They have a good coach. I just think in the long run, their bench is going to hurt them. Like, I don't think Landry Shamit, Javale Mcgee, and all these guys move the needle that much. But, I don't know.
I only laughed. Pardon me. I only laughed because you said win the finals, and I was just thinking like the Nets would beat them in like the easiest 5 I've ever seen in my life. And I think
But you're talking about with the big 3 healthy or just with Kevin Durant and James Harden?
Both.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah,
easy.
That's just why I laughed.
Nah,
I'm not saying easy like it would be easy. I'm saying take it easy.
Sorry.
That being said, Landry Shamit, where fair, his offensive game is pretty inconsistent. His defense is pretty solid.
It's okay. It's nothing crazy.
I
watched him all year.
He had a stretch. I want to say it was like 15 games, and his defensive rating was like 105.
Tough.
No, that's excellent.
No,
which is firm. I'm just saying he has had moments where he is pretty solid defender. But I do understand what you're saying, especially with Utah. They have scores, but the one thing that will benefit Phoenix is that Phoenix is extremely good defensively.
You're not getting left off the hook. You're not. And you want to laugh all you want, but Suns fans, if you're watching,
I like their chances more than Utah, bro.
You also did
I never said Utah would win the final. I said they could make it.
You also did say you don't trust D Book in the playoffs.
I was wrong.
It takes a man to admit.
I admitted it already.
You
He's
did.
crazy. Like,
Nah, but we need to hear it again.
I just want you to say it again, just so they understand.
I was wrong.
You've been wrong about Phoenix.
Even though Pat Bev put him in the gulag, I was wrong.
In the gulag, okay.
No, he did.
No.
He did.
With a broken nose, yeah.
Oh,
Enough
he's
of
Kobe,
that.
right?
The man
That's what he
couldn't
keeps saying.
sniff.
He's Kobe, right?
That was the worst thing they ever did.
He's
to him.
Kobe, right?
Worst thing they ever did to him.
That's the take. He's Kobe. He went the
not
commercial,
Kobe, bro.
Well,
did the little
hold on,
salute.
hold on.
He's not
For
Kobe.
one, that's the media pushing that narrative
And
onto
Phoenix
you.
fans.
No. I would say that's the media pushing that
and
narrative
Phoenix
on
fans.
They put a
And-
whole commercial. D-Book over there, like get out of here, bro.
I mean,
You
that's
ain't
his favorite player, though.
That's a lot of people's favorite
He's just
players.
paying homage, though.
I'd rather Kyrie.
And it wasn't, and I don't know if it was necessarily him. I think Stephen A. Smith had the biggest say
a
on
fact.
him.
That's a fact,
He just
too.
called him Kobe out of nowhere. Like, I was like, whoa, you got to chill.
That's
Kobe
the
played
media
both sides
pushing
of
that
the ball.
narrative on you, and now you falling into it and not liking Devin Booker because of it.
Whoa! I never said it like that.
I mean, Devin Booker's one of the best
Now
young
you
scorers in
just,
the
you
league.
just love Donovan Mitchell, and then when it comes to people that compare,
I mean, I don't think it's far off between D-Book and Donovan.
It's
though,
not.
I think
But
Mitch is the best two
he-
guard in the NBA.
he might-
D. Mitch.
Are we counting Harden?
No, he's a one. We've established that already.
Are we
then
counting
Kyrie?
Kyrie? He's not better than Kyrie, bro.
He's not.
All right, I got it.
Yeah.
He's not better than Harden either.
I don't hate on both.
I
though.
think you don't think Mitchell's better than Kyrie?
No.
I think it's close.
I think it's close,
No,
but
for
I'm not
sure.
ready. I'm not ready to say he's
I don't
better
hate
than
on Book. I just feel like what I'm saying. I like their team. It's just if they see the Nets 5, hilarious, and then if they see the Bucks, I think the Bucks will win again.
Nets with Kyrie for sure. I think they win. With just Harden and
Bro, without PJ Tucker, the Bucks are not winning.
What?
They're not winning without PJ Tucker, bro.
Why not against the Phoenix Suns?
Because PJ Tucker's like that.
Drew was the main defender for that series, not PJ. It was Drew.
PJ
Drew was
had
taking
that-
turns on Chris Paul.
Yeah,
and
and
Devin
Tucker
Booker.
had
having his
Whoever
way.
had the hot
Having
hand,
his
he
way.
was
Are
just
you gonna
locking
say
up.
KD?
Tucker had the best plus minus, bro.
I get
Okay.
that, but I'm saying defensively, like Drew
And the
was.
best defensive rating too.
Yeah, we know,
Yeah.
but he wasn't guarding the best players.
I mean,
it was
nah,
Drew, so his defensive rating
he
isn't
kind
going
of
to look as
does
good.
have a point though, because when it comes to a series with like the Nets and everything, Giannis and all
No,
these guys are
PJ
gonna have the luxury of
PJ 's
somebody
I'm
chasing
saying,
Kevin
but
Durant around for 48 minutes.
In terms of defensive rating, PJ is gonna look as great because Drew was taking turns, having his way with Chris
Well, he's
Paul
looked
and
that
Devin
great with
Booker.
Drew was
Houston
a
and
beast on
Toronto,
defense.
and when he used to play for Phoenix, he looked that great there too. So
Oh,
this is
really?
a common theme with
Well,
Tucker.
he looked great in Phoenix. You think so?
No, he did. That was his
Who?
prime. Tucker, PJ
His
Tucker.
prime?
He locked up Melo in Phoenix, bro.
In
was
a
like-
regular season game.
Okay.
No, I'm saying no. There's literally a
No,
there's a compilation tape with Tucker
I'm
in
sorry.
Phoenix
I didn't
locking
know
up
he
the
was.
top
He was.
stars.
We didn't hear about him. He was irrelevant until he got to Houston. That's why I was confused when he said.
No, they were really
I
good
didn't
in
remember.
Phoenix.
I didn't
Nah,
You
remember.
remember
he
that
played-
Phoenix team? That Phoenix team was good,
It
bro.
I
was
remember the
okay.
Morris twins there. And
Yeah.
Brandon Knight.
That was the
Goran
year they
Dragic.
were the-
PJ was there.
Eric Bledsoe
That's
too.
really hard for
That
me to
wasn't
believe that.
Nah, he
time,
was
bro.
there.
No, it was with Goran Dragic, bro.
Oh, he played.
Yes.
It's really hard for me to remember if he played.
It
I'm
was
sorry.
they were the 9th seed. They were one game away
Oh,
from
when
making
they
the
went
playoffs.
42 and 40, something like
I
that, with
think-
Bledsoe
I
and
think they
Dragic.
won 49 games actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
PJ played for that team. Yo, it's
Yes.
really hard to remember his impact. I'm
No,
sorry.
he was
I'm
great. He
legit
was
sorry.
very impactful.
I'm sorry. I really didn't know. I'm
I
sorry.
mean, I didn't
Well, I
start
don't
knowing about
expect-
PJ until
Till
this
Houston.
guy.
I'm sorry.
I don't
This
expect
guy's
you
supposed to
to
be on
understand.
PJ.
I don't
sorry.
expect you to know Phoenix Suns history. All right, but I know Suns history.
You're a Suns fan?
I'm not well
Add him to
part
the list.
timer.
Add him to the list.
Nah,
Okay.
PJ
They
was
do
on the
have
Suns,
they
though.
do have similar color schemes to the Knicks, so I always root
That's
for
fair.
that.
Okay.
Orange, yeah, I like that.
PJ.
So that's your West guys. That's what you rocking with?
I like the Suns. Yeah, you know I like Chris Paul. That's my
Facts,
guy.
facts. I do. You
know,
do.
so-
That's just, I give you that. You do.
Yeah, I mean-
you do like Chris. Paul.
Riv, how do you feel about this team scoring punch off the bench, Phoenix? Like, you think it's there?
I
bro?
like
don't-
Cameron Payne. We have to wait and see. He played with us, so I know him. So I like him.
Nah,
Though.
he had a good.
I like
he played-
Cam Johnson
he
a
played
lot.
well.
Cam Johnson's good. He just
How
has
much-
to take that step. I think they have a solid bench though. I think Cam Johnson, Cameron Payne. I think they have a lot of shooting off the
Was
bench.
Cam Johnson a good pick for the 11th pick?
Nah.
I mean, he's
Dude,
pretty old.
yes.
He was pretty old.
He's 25 right now. I mean,
No,
He
he's
got
just-
drafted last year.
which is
Yeah.
I'm fine with.
No, he didn't.
2 years
Yes, he
ago.
It was last year.
He was a
Last year
20,
was
he
his
was,
rookie
he was
year.
a 23-year-old rookie, bro. Last
The bubble was his rookie year.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean,
25 already.
I just don't see the scoring punch off this bench.
I don't think they
I
need
like
to.
it, honestly.
I
I
do. I
like-
like.
I
They
like
have
it
a lot
too.
of shooting on the bench.
We'll see when come playoff time.
You got
That's a
campaign. You got
We're gonna see.
Landry. You got Cam Johnson.
But come,
Eh,
Jay
you
Crowder
just
isn't
name
starting
shooters.
either, right?
No, Jay will start.
So then what's up with Mikal? He's
He'll
starting as
start
well.
at
Yeah.
3. Jay at the 4.
Ah, okay, that makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense.
They definitely
It's a
added
good
guard
lineup,
depth.
though.